biggest power for the whole country.
Making sense of it all so that you can get a clearer picture.
I've collected 500 billion, and I can only show you borehole.
It's politics.
For me, it is what I call Iberberism. I beg your pardon. Go and search for it, my friend.
It's current affairs.
4 years course, metamorphosing into 6 years.
And news that
Affects you.
What an academic academic yo in their leadership rococo, leadership rababare.
it's all the serious stuff.
But with a light-hearted twist.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Oboh.
Join us 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday
Right here.
on Hard Facts. On Hard Facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. My car and I are very, very happy. She's not entering as many potholes as normal because there's lots of road work happening in Lagos. Apart from road repair, the major work on second roundabout in Lekki, it's moving along quite fast, and I'm hoping that that's the same situation for all the other roundabouts that were slated for work by the government. They've dismantled the sculpture that was there. They've leveled the entire roundabout, and government said that they're turning it back into a regular intersection with lights. But also, they're adding an inner U-turn area so that people wanting to turn round do not have to wait for the light or cross traffic. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of like what we do here on Hard Facts. We go straight to the point, no roundabouts. Aghogho and I are here every day to bring you the best insights into today's most important topics. We break them down, give you the facts, and you can form an informed opinion. And any show you miss, you can catch online. Our last shows from 2019 are still online, by the way. So get online and watch and catch up. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Nigeria Info FM. We've got a great show for you today. We're starting with the big three, where we'll bring you the latest from Tarkwa Bay. Nigeria's ranking worsens on Transparency International's corruption index. Lagos state government advises the public about the coronavirus. It's Thursday, so we're bringing you Eyewitness after League of Extraordinary Nigerians. Now, Eyewitness is where we let you take over and turn our spotlight to the stories in your area that you believe should be making the news. So load your airtime, get ready to call me as soon as League of Extraordinary Nigerians is over at 4:30. So from 4:30, that's when Eyewitness begins. On the big hard fact, we're going to mark International Education Day, which falls tomorrow. We have the PRO of the State Ministry of Education on the show to take your calls. Remember that you sent in a lot of questions a few weeks ago that you wanted to ask the Commissioner for Education here in Lagos State. Well, we have the PRO coming in, and he'll be answering all those questions. And then we're going to wrap up the show with Ireti Bakare Yusuf and Listed Lagosian. As usual throughout the show, we're bringing you the latest updates from the world of news, sports, and entertainment. But let's get started with the big three.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, on the big three, we bring you stories that everyone is talking about right now. Did the Navy have the right to displace Tarkwa Bay residents? How do you score the government's fight against corruption? And is government doing enough to prepare us against the coronavirus, do you think? Let's get into these stories. Our first story on the Big Three is a story that we've been covering on Nigeria Info since yesterday. We're still talking about the Navy's demolition of the community at Tarkwa Bay. We've had various accounts of the situation in the past 24 hours, with the Navy saying that they did it to stop pipeline vandalism, while the community insists that they are not close to the pipelines. In fact, we have one of the residents of the community. We had one of the residents of the community on the show in the morning, and here's what he had to say.
Walk in the morning. We have a court at Appeal Court, another similar case of eviction that the Nigerian Slum and Informal Federation took to court. So we are on our way to the appeal court for that very sitting. When I was called back home that they are demolishing Tarkwa Bay, that I should rush and come back. So I have nothing to do than rush back home. And by the time I get back home, everywhere is chaotic. The whole jetty is full of with, women and children, and everybody just... It's just chaotic.
Quite a thing. We also got in touch with the Bale of Aghogho community, Hakeem Jimo, and he said this on the show in the morning.
The naval officers, they were in charge of keeping safe of the pipeline. So, if oil scoping is happening around, they should be the first person to ask how come people are going there to scoop oil. However, right from time, the relationship is not cordial at all.
IJ Ijomesek has been on the scene since morning. Ijoma, what did you see when you got to Tarkwa Bay?
Okay, good afternoon. I saw a whole lot of shocking stories today at the Tarkwa Bay, and not only Tarkwa Bay. We have about over 10 communities that some of them has been asked to leave the environment, while some are still there. I must also make mention of the fact that this is a fact that most people did not know. It has been said today, and some people also confirmed that the Nigerian Navy gave them an eviction notice 2 months ago, between November and on the 1st of December, that they should evacuate the environment. Today, the places are facing the lagoon. And I can also make mention of the fact that most of these places have more...
They have what?
Environment. This is not a story that I was told. I am still...
We didn't hear what you said, Ijoma. You said most of these places have what?
Hello, Sandra?
Most of these places have what?
Most of these places have dug wells inside their apartments. And I have pictures and footages from I covered so far.
Most of the houses on Tarkwa Bay have wells in their compounds.
Last year, I was in. I have a whole lot of the communities I visited. I was in Akaraba.
Ijoma, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So you're saying that most of the houses in these communities have wells in their compounds?
Yes, and you can see as an individual, you can bring your bucket and you fill well. We have wells there. We also have pits here where you can easily bend down. You start scooping fuel.
So did the military say that they had a system for deciding which houses were part of the vandalism and which ones were not?
Yes, of course they did. According to what I gathered today, it was the federal government that issued a warrant for these people to be evacuated. I must also make mention to you that out of everything I gathered today, none of the individuals have a physical planning or a license for the buildings that they were occupying. And most of these buildings that were left, that were destroyed, are shanties. The houses that are made of blocks were built by illegal occupants. And part of my investigation also revealed that 95% of those...
Ijoma, it sounds like you're moving. Ijoma, it sounds like you're moving, and so we're getting wind interrupting what you're saying. So we're not hearing you very clearly.
It's better. Is it getting better?
This is better.
Okay.
Okay. So you were saying that a lot of the houses that were demolished were shanties.
They have fancies, and the ones that are made up of blocks, I can tell you categorically that most of those houses, urban and physical planning team was part of the team that went around this building, the environment, and they made mention of the fact that none of these buildings has a permit or a license or a C4 from the Lagos State government. And they also made mention of the fact that some other communities will soon be evicted by Lagos State government. I must also make mention of the fact that the members of the NPA, Nigerian Port Authority, were also on ground to also give us on side of the story. They said for a long time they've been trying as much as possible to evict these communities because the land that they are occupying belongs solely to the federal government.
I see. Now, was there any mention of relocation? Do we know where the people who have been evicted?
According to the information with me, the people you can relocate and reintegrate into any society are people that have genuine land documents. But in this case, they don't have these documents with them. None of them. And I can also make the fact that you have community dwellers that are there for genuine business. You have resorts there owned by the Oniru, by the Ekiti, Oboh of Ekiti. We have some places there that have been genuinely occupied by those that have the necessary documents. And the Navy, including the Lagos State Planning and Land Development, has made mention of the fact that in case they have not been well informed, that they should come up with documents, they should come up with claims, and they are ready to entertain the also make any amends. But according to them, when I was interviewing them, they made mention of the fact that none amongst these people have any legal form of documentation to show that they are the real occupants. Sandra, I must also make mention of the fact that the people that have been evicted, 95% of them are not Nigerians. The people that we have there and that were being evicted are those from the Benin Republic, Togolese, and the Ghanaians. And those people, what they use is as soon as a ship, an NNPC ship comes in, brings in petroleum products, as it is going through the pipeline, they have already channeled it to their various houses. It is just like you can easily on your tap and you start getting fuel from it. You can easily pick up a bucket and you scoop fuel from the floor. I have videos, I have footages and pictures to show for what I saw.
Ijoma, how did you confirm the nationalities of these people you say make up 95% of the population of the evictees?
Okay, the people that I saw today and the people, I'm not speaking based on what the army or what the military has told me. The vehicle that took me in is a Nigerian vehicle, and I started interviewing the man, and the man said, in fact, all the wells that they dug, I went to, that I visited, has their names on it. And none of these names are synonymous to Nigerian names.
Is it possible that these names are aliases?
Excuse me?
Is it possible that these names are nicknames, aliases?
They are not nicknames. It's just like the Nkrumahs is known for as Ghanaian names. We have some names that are synonymous to some communities and some regions. It's just like telling me Ezekwesili, telling me Okoye, telling me Bose. Some of these Nigerian names. But when you see names that are not Nigerian names, for sure you will know. And I took pictures of them, and I'm still going to do a special report on this to really know what we are talking about. I don't just want to base the story on my own personal conviction and all of this. We're having some discussions on this during the week, and when I contacted the Navy, they said, okay, come forward. We're not going to say anything to you. Come and see for yourself and do a story based on what you think, and which I have done today. And I can say that even if those people are evicted, I can say for sure that they were living on a gunpowder that could explode at any time. And
Okay.
if you remember, this is not the first time. Neither I pray it is this last time we are going to have crisis in Abule Egba area of the state. Similar cases, what is being replicated here? We have stories coming out from Mosimi, from Ejigbo, from different parts of Lagos, where people try as much as possible to siphon fuel. Please and please, people doing and engaging into such should be from it. It is not only because of the monetary gains that they will get, but for safety purposes, I think it is high time people stop all of this act.
All right, Ijomesek, thank you so much for doing that report for us. Ijomesek is our security correspondent for Nigeria Info. It's 27 minutes to 4. I want your thoughts on this story. What do you think about the Navy's position? Do you believe they acted in the best manner? Do you accept their reasoning? What do you think of the new information you have from our correspondent who has gone out into the field? 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277-2993 and 01277-3993. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
On today's Big Three, we brought you the latest from Tarkwa Bay. We're also going to talk about the government's fight against corruption and the coronavirus. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts. Our numbers are 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, 01277 3993. Hello. Good afternoon. 99.3. Hello.
Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. What's your name?
My name is Tayo. I'm calling from Leicester.
Go ahead, Tayo.
Yeah, listening to Ijoma report, it sounds very annoying. I mean, that's stealing now. It's stealing. People having fuel tanks in their houses. stealing. I think the adding was maybe the action in the right order. It's just stealing. Admittedly, I was just shouting. It sounds very annoying. You can't say the ring was even it's too much. It's still like when you want to go and raid them armed robbers, you don't give them time. And hearing us saying that they are not. I think I agree with her. They are not Nigerians. It's all the entire task of to be split, to be clear. It's all everybody to be all
All right, thanks for calling us. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. What's your name?
My name is Ade. I'm calling from Ejigi.
Ade, welcome. Go ahead.
According to this report, my own question is that how many people have they arrested in that community for people to know before they go and demolish all those places? I don't know our government how they are doing. You don't build house for people. You want the money to build, you destroy it because of your own mistake. You put people you are there that are washing the pipeline. How many people have they arrested? Go to Ijegun where pipeline burst there. Go and see all those mobile police that they put there. Their work is to collect money from motor that is good. They leave their duty post and begin to collect money from motor that is going. After now, they say they want to go and demolish that place. I'm tired.
Thanks for calling us. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Yes, welcome. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Frank. I'm calling from Yaba.
Go ahead, Frank.
Listening to reporter there, I am a journalist myself.
Okay.
That report is not a kind of reportage at all. It was one-sided. It wasn't balanced, and even the attitude that should be go to the naval authorities. She was saying it as if it's coming from her. And so the naval PRO couldn't have done a better job than what Ijoma did. What kind of journalism are we practicing?
No, but we've spent the entire morning telling you the side of the story of the people. In fact, I started a conversation.
But she should have done a better job going there. In fact, the way she was presenting the whole thing, it would have said, go there. This is an issue a human angle issue that involves families, people who are displaced. You don't just go about it in such a flimsy manner. I'm so annoyed. Honestly, I'm so annoyed. This is brand envelope journalism.
No, that's a heavy accusation, sir. You cannot call and make that about one of my reporters. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my dear sister.
Yes, what's your name, sir? Welcome.
Okay, this is Chris from Okokomaki.
Chris, welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, my dear. As regards to the report Ijoma just made a while ago, my own submission is that, it's good that the Navy is on right track. They have evacuated them there. But the only thing I'm against is that, they should have given them a notice for them to have back out probably a week before the due date. That is the only thing that, why I think they got it wrong. Though, I think another thing that I have actually pointed out is that because those buildings, like she did say, it's illegal. So probably as a result of that, they decided to, take them on our way anyway. So that's only my own submission on that.
All right.
As regards to your whoever who is saying that the report, the other caller, let him probably, after the program, let him go to your podcast and get it. The report was so balanced. It wasn't one-sided. She did point out that what the residents, all their own submission about the whole thing. And of course, yesterday on the program, one of the ladies who, from her submission, seems to be so innocent of the whole thing that is happening there. She did point out, that she's not aware of whatever is happening, and those things have been happening there. People have been saying their minds of what has been happening there. So they will show that some people, some of us, not because we have airtime, shouldn't come on air to just say anything for saying it, for people to just hear us that we are speaking on radio. It's not fair. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Our second story, Nigeria has dropped 2 places on the annual Corruption Perception Index published by Transparency International. The report is released every January, and according to this year's edition, Nigeria is now ranked 146 out of 180 countries considered. You may remember that last year, Nigeria went up to 144. So it's almost like we're going up and down. I'm really intrigued about what the politicians are going to say about this. Last year, when Nigeria's ranking improved, the federal government's spokespeople were all quoting the index, and they were all talking about how it was a great achievement. Same thing with the ease of doing business ranking from the World Bank as well. There were lots of praise from the government. Meanwhile, at the time, the opposition was saying that the change in ranking is not reflective of what is happening on ground in the country, and that the study was not robust enough. Interestingly, I listened to a TV show where a representative of the government was being asked about the Transparency Index report, and he disregarded it and told Nigerians to discard that as well, as there was no proof to back up what Transparency International is alleging. This year, that the situation has flipped. I wonder what the other politicians will say. I wonder if they're going to maintain their opinion of the index, or whether they're going to flop as well. Whether they're going to flip as well. And I also wonder if the PDP will still insist that the study was not robust enough. Will the APC still insist that the study is accurate? Find out on the next episode of Musical Chairs. But here's the truth. Here's something else that we also need to pay attention to. Whether we are 146th or we are 144th, like we were last year, it is not a good thing. There are over 100 countries in the world that are less corrupt than Nigeria. Imagine the effects this must be having on our reputation abroad. Imagine some of the investors that are too scared to come into the country because they are afraid of corruption. Every government comes in and they say that they are battling corruption, yet there doesn't appear to be much of a difference. Now, when you talk to the experts, they say that the main ways to fight corruption are: 1, to make systemic changes to how people access money, right? And 2, to improve the economy. That one is the long-term solution. But I want to talk about the idea of putting checks in the system. That's what former President Jonathan called separating the goats from the yams. Remember that famous statement? So you take EPIS, for example, IPPIS. It separates the goat, called ghost worker, from the yam, called salary, by creating a system that uses fingerprints to check if the same person is answering different names in the public service. So those are the types of solutions that we need across the board. Why do you think we cannot adopt more of these kinds of solutions? Why do you think corruption is so rampant? Do you think the government is doing enough? Do you think that there are other ways that we can separate goats from yams? What are those other ways? And yes, when you call, you can still talk about our first story on the Big Three today: 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Peter.
All right, go ahead, Peter.
All right, I'm calling you from Tarkwa. I am a resident of Tarkwa.
Oh, good. Welcome.
Yes. Please, I want to correct or dispel the misconception that came from your reporter. Okay, I will not entirely dismiss what she said, but I think she got some information wrong. The report that she just gave is a blanket. She just gave a blanket, report. I mean, generalizing the whole thing. Yes, there are various communities within this vicinity. You have Akaraba, you have Robert Island, you have Ikota. You have so many communities, over 30 communities spread across from here down to Badagry.
Okay.
The Tarkwa Bay is a unique area. It's a unique area where we are not along the pipeline at all.
Okay.
That is what they are talking about. I think the Naval guys have done a very good job. It's a propaganda. The Naval guys just took your reporter
to those areas where these bunkering is really, really taking place. And I must tell you, as a resident of this community, over the years, that the naval personnel are deeply involved in this issue. Because I just want to ask a question. There are task forces. There are task force on the securing the pipeline, the NNPC facility.
Okay.
They are armed with ammunition and guns. They are being fed 3 square meals. They are paid allowances and all that.
Okay.
Then how come a civilian who is not armed will be able to have access to the facility and then now cause vandalism? No. You ask yourself, is that not a question that, yes, reasonable people should ponder on? I am a security man. And before anybody will be able to get into my facility, I tell you, if I don't compromise, then that individual must have killed me. I mean, must have shot me down before gaining entrance to my facility. So these people are harmed to the tooth. So if they were not involved, I don't think an harmless civilian, somebody that is not holding gun, will be able to get to those facilities.
Now, can I ask you, sir? You say you're a resident of Tarkwa Bay.
Yes, I am.
Were you evicted yesterday? Day before yesterday?
Yes, I was. In fact, let me just tell you, the initial order that came from the federal government was that communities within, I think, 15 meters or 100 meters to the pipeline should be evicted. The Tarkwa Bay is not close.
Where are you? Where have you had to relocate to since this eviction happened?
I have moved my family to Lagos because they did not even. They came on Tuesday. They came on Tuesday into Tarkwa Bay, which they ought not to do. In fact, the army guys are not even affiliated yet secretary of this community. So I am well informed. I know what is happening.
I see.
I know what is happening. I am close to the government. I am an ESCO member of the ruling party of APC in this community. So we cannot get ourselves involved. We cannot. We are well informed people. Tourists that are coming to Tarkwa Bay, ask them. Foreigners, white men that are coming, ask them. We are very civilized people. Yes, the bunkering has been taking place, or the vandalization has been taking place in those communities far away from here. Akaraba and the rest of them, Robert Island and the rest of them. But these guys are doing what they're doing just to cover their tracks. I tell you, Ijoma. Sandra. I tell you, I will not want to make any disparaging comment about your reporter. Well, I leave that God for God to judge. But I am heartbroken. I am heartbroken. I'm disappointed. Because I tell you, it's a misinformation about Tarkwa Bay. I am not making this up. If you want to carry out an independent investigation about this, you come down.
All right, Peter. Thank you so much for calling.
I'm
so sorry that this is happening to you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take more calls and we're going to stay on this story for a while. We're going to be there again tomorrow. We're going to be there on Tuesday. We're going to have bigger conversations about this for the rest of the week. We're also going to bring in the state government as well so that we understand what exactly is going on. Let me move on to the final story. That government, there are no cases of the coronavirus in Africa yet. Lagos state government is already swinging into action to prepare for it because of the strong trade links between Lagos and China, where the NCOV virus has killed at least 9 people. The state government has decided that the wisest course of action would be to raise the capacity to handle an outbreak and to inform the public of how to keep safe. As such, the State Commissioner of Health, Professor King Abayomi, has announced the steps that are currently that have currently been taken. So number one, the state government is upgrading the biosecurity facility and isolation wards located at the mainland infectious disease hospital in Yaba. They'll be equipped with the capacity to detect cases of nCoV in the event of a quarantine. The state government is also working on a joint strategy with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, which will permit coordinated use of resources. And they're also working with the ports authorities at sea and at airports borders as well as the land borders to increase screening and inspection of new entrants into the country. Abayomi urges citizens to adopt and practice high standard of personal and environmental hygiene, including regular hand washing, covering of mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, avoiding close contact with anybody showing signs of respiratory illness, such as coughing and sneezing, and practice good biosecurity precautions with domestic and wild animals as measures against transmission of any kind of contagious infection, NCOV inclusive. So I like this springing into action thing that the Lagos State government seems to be doing. I was reading through the steps and precautions that the Health Commissioner, Professor Abayomi, laid out. And it was like deja vu because, of course, these are the same processes that were put in place during the Ebola scare, remember? So it was a bit of a relief to see that the processes are still in place and we're not going to have to start from scratch and reinvent the wheel, you know, if we have an outbreak of NCOV in Lagos. And again, I want to remind Lagos, there is no NCOV. There's no coronavirus in Africa yet. This is the government talking precautions, right, to avoid a fire brigade approach if we do have an outbreak. But at the same time, it would probably be a good idea to verify these promises that the government is making. So it would be nice to confirm that these preparations are not just audio, and that there is something actually happening on ground. And on Nigeria Info, we're going to try and do that for you as well. So we're wondering if you think that the government is doing enough. Do you think the state government's advice and status report on preparations against novel coronavirus is reassuring? Is it reassuring for you? What do you think about it? 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. And yes, when you call, you can still talk about the first two stories on the show today. I'm talking about the corruption index story. I'm also talking about the latest from Tarkwa Bay. You heard our reporter Ijoma Esek, who was out in the fields today. And then this advice from the Lagos State government about the coronavirus. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. What's your name?
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
This is Mr. Vincent from Papa.
Hello, Mr. Vincent. Go ahead.
You know, Sandra, the Lagos State won the discussion of Tarkwa Bay. It has been the stock and trade of the governance, whatever, in Nigeria. So they like pushing their citizens to down poverty line. So we only look for succor from God. But on this index, I know somebody like me know that the government is still give information the way they do. The one, if they realize the one that they like, they approve it. The other one they get finished. The problem now is this. For me, I am looking at post PMB because I thought something that what PMB was coming to do, but I just think that it just came of the same. These people, I believe that where they are getting most of their report, their indices from the electoral process. The electoral process has been dragged back 45 years backward instead of improving. Sandra, if you bet me, if assuming a PMB went to think about our electoral process, what is the fundamental problem Nigeria is having? Even these so-called investors, they will be falling over their heads to come into Nigeria. Because you can see that every 3.5 years, all of them, the major investors, all of them, you want to look for hole, even in small holes to put their money, because there will be an image of uncertainty everywhere. It doesn't all go well for a growing economy like Nigeria. So all of us, what will we do now? If we are, I don't know whether I'm mad, but if we are looking at our kids or whatever the future, to pile pressure on government and look at post PMB. I don't know whether PMB is thinking about tinkering this thing. I can't place my hands on any.
All right, thanks for calling us. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good evening. You're my last call, so I've got 1 minute for you.
So, First time caller. My name is Gideon. I'm calling from
Gideon, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Aja.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, on the report that your reporter of the first information, I'm concerned. In the morning, I was listening to your program, and they said that the people had about 8,000 votes, so which means they are Nigerians. So, but your reporter is saying now that 95% are not Nigerians. So I wanted to a little bit clarify us on that issue. So that's my concern.
All right. Gideon, thanks for calling. Well, this is information that she got when she went into the field. And you notice as well that I wanted to find out how she came to that, how she found that out. And she says that some of the wells had the names of the owners, and those names were not Nigerian names. But like she said, she's going to put together a special report, and then you'll listen to that. And hopefully all of these questions you have will be clarified. Coming up is League of Extraordinary Nigerians. Eyewitness commences immediately. That is done from 4:30 p.m. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info.
Hard Facts will be right back.